Okay, well, welcome everyone. Tonight's call is about hormone and lymph, but maybe a little less on the lymph emphasis, and hormone cleanse program that it's coming up in June. It's right around the corner. So after in the US, after the Memorial Weekend, you'll have about another week or so to sign up. And I think the Dr. Christine's office is starting to send, for those of you that have signed up already, emails like yesterday. So they were a little bit behind in getting things done. So I called them and then I said, what the heck is going on? We need more information. So I know, Nancy, I was pushing it. And I had a long conversation with them last Friday. And we've been just kind of working on it and putting things together. So they're working hard. So you should be getting a little bit more information now. And the portal I think it's open for all of you. If not, I'm going to just show you what that looks like. So just you can see the general schedule. If we need to add more things, if we need to add more Q&A and things like that, they are very organic about this, because I said, what if I wanted to do some extra Q&A? And I have to say, everyone, that I like to work with women or a little more post-menopausal women. Those are my group. Okay. That's who I kind of lean towards. And I said to Chris, I said, I am almost the early stage of post-menopause. I'm almost there. So I don't want to de-emphasize the post-menopausal women. And I think there's a tendency to do that. When you hear the word hormones and even moon cycles, immediately everybody's go, oh, that's not for me, because you're no longer bleeding, right? You're not having a menstruation every month. And you're like, well, that has nothing to do with me. I started feeling that way too, but my love for moon. And so I've been playing with my body for the last year or so, since I have really gone into menopause, just playing with my cycles, even though I'm not bleeding anymore. And I haven't for, I think it's coming up a little over a year now. So I am technically, right, getting into the first point of postmenopause. So anyway, I just really want to let Dr. Christine know too, and I plan on reaching out to her personally and letting her know that we shouldn't dismiss that, okay? And then we shouldn't emphasize on perimenopause and PMS and, women who are still able to have children age, okay? Because the statistics, I'm sure you are aware that the women are living longer and longer and longer. And I've been telling Chris that he has to live really longer because I need him to take care of me. And he is younger than me. I don't know you knew that, but he is 5 years younger than me. So I need him to live longer because I plan to live a very long life. That means he has to live longer, right? So that he can take care of me. That's all I care about, is that he lives long so that he takes care of me. Just kidding, honey. Okay. So anyway, we are living so much longer. And since like 1900s, women are living about 30 years like longer. And okay, so think about this, okay? Perimenopause, okay, that's like 40s, mid 40s, late 40s. Let's say on average, women go to menopause around, they say like 45 to 55. Okay, let's say. Some women can go into like late 50s. I have a couple of women that are still not quite in menopause, but that's super rare. Okay, so let's say 45 to 55, you're kind of in the menopause. Okay. But what that means is that, let's say if you live till 90, okay, my mother is almost 90, going strong. And I believe that people can live to 120. I mean, I really do believe that. That means you have so many more decades after the menopause that we need to be taking care of ourselves. But we've been forgotten. Did you know that? The women have been forgotten. we're just not part of the studies. We're not really understanding what it is to take care of our bodies, particularly after the menopause. And we go into postmenopause, the doctors and everybody says, well, you're in postmenopause. Good luck with that. It's total darkness. So I refuse to go there. Okay. I do not want to be found myself alone in the darkness going, well, I guess this is just what it is. And I think my passion personally comes from the fact that I grew up with older parents. So my father was born in 1933, right? My mother was 1935. So they're the post-depression babies or depression babies, right? So they went through the World War II and everything else. And so having older parents and witnessing them decline, but also part of my lack of relationship that I have with my mom, I would probably put that to the fact that my mom was very confused about perimenopause and the menopause. And that's when I was going through kind of the puberty, right? When she is going through menopause, I was going through my puberty. We clashed so much, we just did not get along. And I was confused by my mother because I grew up in a household that if I didn't get up in the morning, first thing in the morning, right, put the bright smile on my face and say, good morning, mother. If I didn't say that, that entire day was going to be hell. I mean, that's just how I grew up. Okay. Just like buzzing with nervous energy all the time. And I had no clue what mood my mother was going to be in the morning. And then when I got back from school, I had absolutely no clue, because it could be fabulous or it could be a hell that I was going into that I had no idea. So that was always in the back of my mind. And I said to myself, I've got to figure out something about myself. I have to figure out how I can navigate that when I'm at that age. So it was just kind of part of my mission to learn about it. And I'm grateful that I am learning about it and I'm able to share. But I just wanted all of you to know that I am not abandoning the post-menopausal women. Okay. So I want you to know that, because the fact is, Dr. Christine is not menopausal. She's about 10 years younger than me, right? The other, I think Heather, she might be, but we might be the only two. Heather lady and I might be the only maybe menopausal women that are going to be there, right? So I want to make sure that we don't become the minority voice. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to say. And I want to personally thank you, all of you women that have paved the way for me so that I can learn from you. And you're the pioneers that have really walked a path in front of me so that I can learn, so that I can pay attention. And it hasn't been an easy road. I just want you to know that. And basically the studies that came out in 2002 with the health initiative studies scared all of us. Okay. Is it called a bejesus out of you? Is that how you say it in English? Okay. Bejesus out of you for anything related to hormones. But number one, I want you to put the fear aside about hormones. Hormones are just messengers. Okay. We all have to have hormones, and we have hundreds of hormones. And for instance, without the vitamin D, which is not just a vitamin, but it's a hormone. Okay. I want you to know that vitamin D is a hormone. Vitamin D works strongly together with the progesterone. Okay. And when you go into post-menopause, progesterone level goes down. Well, guess what? So many of us have very low amount of vitamin D. Okay. And vitamin D levels should be checked, so if you do get your blood test done with your general practitioners or your medical doctor, get that vitamin D checked, okay? At least like once a year is okay. And in the summertime, obviously, expose some of your skin. It's good to expose like your belly, like a fatty tissues area with the sunlight. That's really good because fat tissues generally hold a lot of the information from hormones. Okay, so expose your belly, your inner thighs, wear your short shorts from the 1970s, okay, 60s, pull those up. And expose your legs to the vitamin D sunshine, because that's going to help to produce and maintain good amount of progesterone. But here's the kicker with the postmenopausal women like us, is that we are going to produce less and less and less hormones. Okay, that is just given. For instance, like a DHEA, we produce, like first 5 years, we produce a lot less, like 30% each year, less than the last year kind of a thing. So we're producing less and less and less. And then we begin to produce less, but not dramatically. So I'm at that point where I need to take care of myself, where I could go downhill very quickly. Okay. So another thing that really is important for postmenopausal women, and I will talk about this in the course too a little bit more, but we've got to maintain our muscle tissues better, okay? Because women are losing more and more muscle tissues, but we need to have adequate protein in our diet so we're not losing our strength. And when you lose strength, what starts to happen, and this is an interesting indicator that you can pay attention to. When you are lacking in good muscles and enough proteins and digesting them using hydrochloric acid, you're going to start to notice your vocal cords begin to quiver, okay, and crackly, and you can't get the high notes, and your voice just starts to sound like, somebody will say, you sound just like your mother. I'm not sure that's a good thing. Okay. But practice is important too, singing. So one of the reasons why my mom's voice stays so fantastically still at almost 90 is that she was a linguist and she taught linguistics classes till 2 years ago. She had her classes, and so that she had her school for 45 years. So it's amazing, so she was doing vowel sounds and consonant sounds to these little kids. So she would teach little kids, right? 3rd grader to 9th grade. So they would be repeating all these words and English words and things like that. So she was always doing this, almost 5 days per week. And then she also was doing vocal lessons because she was a beautiful singer, soprano singer. And that's how my parents met, through singing. So she was always singing. So practicing is important, but if you're starting to notice your vocal cords are starting to crack and quiver, and it's just like you could barely hear, that kind of voices, you can tell. You should just record yourself and listen to it and go, oh my gosh, I am getting older. That's aging voice, okay? Aging voice, number one, definitely take a look at what's going on with your the amino acids. So basically protein intake, that's going to be important. But you can't digest your protein if you don't have adequate HCO complete, right? So Chris will show you the products that we love for digestion, okay? Because if you're not digesting, forget it. No amount of supplements that they are recommending for this program is going to work for you if you're not digesting them, okay? I always repeat this in my mind. My Ayurveda teacher, who's in her 80s now, she always said to me, and she still has a beautiful voice. She said, there's not a single bad food in this world, she says, as long as you can digest it. Okay, so if you can't digest it, that's a poison to you. Okay, so let's make sure you are digesting your protein, because as you get older, biologically, chronologically, okay, chronologically and biological aging do not have to come together, though. I want you to know that. Just because you lived on this earth long, for the time, okay, this linear timing doesn't mean the biological aging needs to go up at the same level, okay? You can control this part. This part, you can't. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the length that you've been on this earth, okay? And say, thank you, okay? Thank you, I'm still here. But the biological aging, you can slow that down. But the biggest thing that I see with the postmenopausal women is that we're not digesting things very well. And when you don't digest things, your mind gets overwhelmed. That's when you start to feel like you can't juggle things. Okay, women, I'm not a huge fan of multitasking, but women are generally pretty good at doing a couple of things. Okay, cooking, for instance, is a multitasking job, right? You could be chopping something, sauteing something, right? Getting things boiled on the other side, and you got the rice cooker on the background. That's because I'm Asian. I always have a rice cooker in the background, right? So you got multiple things going on, but you begin to dread the cooking. And you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to cook. Well, that could be a sign of aging that is happening. So, rewind that and say, okay, what can I do to support? Number one, you have to be digesting information, everything that comes your way, including toxins and all that too. That's why HCO Complete from Zorex is very important. We will show you the picture where to order it, okay? And we're permanently keeping that sale for you guys, or you ladies. I should stop saying you guys because you're not. You beautiful women. Okay. So, and Chris. Hi, Chris. I still love you. Okay. So then I wanted to actually go over a couple of signs of decrease in estrogen, but aging voice, I wanted to mention a couple more things. Okay. So wobbly voice, I put down some notes here. So let me read that here. The tone becomes lower. You just can't hit the high notes anymore, and your range of voice becomes very flat. Okay. You can't get too low, but you can't get too high either. So the range is very important. So if you did some of my courses, I have the pipe that I use for my voice, right? Pitch pipe. Okay. I might actually use that. So I might put a note here that I'm going to bring that up, because that would be a good thing for postmenopausal women for us to practice with in the program. So I'll put it down. So for those of you that are going to join me, we'll do a pitch pipe work too.
While you're writing that down, Masami, I just wanted to mention that, one of the things that I've learned from my voice teacher is that you want to stretch your range. And that's something that we talk about a lot with everything that we do. We talk about expanding your range, whether it's the kinds of foods you're eating or how you're moving about your life or physically moving your body. That expansion of range is really important. And when it comes to voice, we all sort of have this regression toward the mean as we get older. So we narrow down from 5-octave range, that's really the full complex range of our voice, to really just kind of the middle 3, if that. And so it's really important to stretch and practice going low and also practice going high. And that's one of the ways that you can keep your vocal cords communicating with your hormones, so that they're not, like Masami said, the hormones are signalers. And if you aren't using something, the implication to your body is there's not really much of a need to continue signaling it. So you start to have atrophy happen in various functions. It could be muscular, it could be vocal cords. So exercising them like that is really valuable. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. The range, we always talk about in almost all our courses, we say expand the range of motion, right? Expand your food, expand your colors, so wear different colors, walk differently, sometimes skip, take different routes to your grocery stores. All those things are working with the range, but the vocal cords are very important in that. So even though in the beginning it might get a little sore, because you're exercising it. So it's like a muscle, you're exercising it. But also another thing that's really interesting, I just wrote it in my note, and I will be sure to address this when I present, And I'm going to be presenting 3 times per week. I decided to volunteer extra. I got so much to say, everyone, so I thought I'm going to do a Friday night evening meditation. And I think that's when I'm going to use some music. And then I just realized that, we talk about chakras, but we don't bring in the sounds much with the chakras. But when we become postmenopausal or menopause or perimenopause, our voices start to go into the narrower range. That also means you get narrowed in your chakra expressions too. I just kind of felt that, because lower chakras you might be able to get into, right? But the higher chakras have a higher note. We can't get there if you can't get the voices to match up with it. And your voice is the most healing voice. I just want you to know that. Your voice is the most healing voice. And if you had a very good relationship with your mom, let's say, and you still do, try to keep a recording of your mom's voice. If she left a message on your phone, or maybe you have like an old video, the family videos that you took, and you have your mom's voice, keep that, okay? Because your mother's voice was your first music, right? And so when you need a little bit of a pick-me-up, right? Or you just need something to just go, okay, I want to be gentle with myself, but I am having a heck of a day. Sometimes listening to just your mom saying hello, or she could be chatting with somebody and you had a recording of it, fabulous. But if you don't have that, or, mother's voice can trigger something for some of us, right? Then you record your own voice, okay? Or talk to yourself, just talk to yourself out loud. That can be very, very helpful. But I took a note here, so I'm going to definitely try to bring this in on the Friday evenings when I'm doing a little bit more meditation. I have a little bit of free range. Is that what it's called? I get to roam around and, eat whatever grass I want in my field on the Friday evening. So I will bring this kind of thing. And Saturday mornings, I'm going to be talking about moon cycles. So full moon, and then 2 of that, full moon in the first quarter, and then the new moon. And I will do the it's not the first, third quarter, and then the new moon, and then the quarter moon. So I'll be on the 4 phases of the moon. Unfortunately, if I had the choice, and if I knew that they were creating this, I would have asked them to start this program from the new moon. I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest with you, that they're starting with the full moon, because that's not what the cycle's meant to do for us, but it's okay. All right. I'm not complaining, everyone. But it's okay. I just want you to know that it's kind of like messing my mind a little, because I don't start the moon cycles with the full moon, because we build it up to the full moon, right? That's such an important 2 weeks. So that gets a little missed. Okay. But I will make sure to bring that back in for the last 2 weeks the last part of it. Okay. So I will definitely address it. But I'm coming back to the vocal cords, so just a few minutes, because I think it's a big worry for a lot of us women, because I see this and I hear this. And then when I work with individuals, I notice like their voices are starting to go. And I think, ooh, that person's estrogen is dropping and the progesterone's definitely dropping too soon. One thing that you want to pay attention to about the vocal cords, one was the protein intake and digesting, right? Number 2 is the blood sugar level. Okay. So post-menopause, but perimenopause onward, especially, you want to make sure that you're not skipping breakfast. Okay. So intermittent fasting, I'm not a huge fan of skipping breakfast. I like everybody to eat within about 90 minutes of waking up. Okay, 90 minutes, within a 90 minutes of it. And don't start your breakfast with a bunch of fruits and cereals and, God knows, orange juice on the side, and good old sad diet, right? Standard American diet. So sad. Okay. So don't start with the so sad stuff. last night's leftovers the best, because most people eat pretty good dinner. I've noticed that, they're making pretty decent stuff with salmon and a little side of veggies and soups and things like that. That's what you can eat for breakfast. Okay. And if you want to do some poached egg in that soup, or maybe make omelets with salmon in it, great, but just please don't skip breakfast. And then eating every 4 hours can be very helpful for balancing blood sugar for anybody really, but I think perimenopause onward, extremely important. Okay. And digesting food. Okay. And let me see. I want to just kind of give you something really interesting, because I've been studying about the vocal sounds and why is this happening to women. Men do not go into the crackly voice that much. They just some of them do lose their voice, but it seems like a little bit more around women, right? It's just like old women's voice. You know that, right? You know what that sounds like. The hoarseness and things like that. So what the study shows, and this study was so fascinating. This was kind of a recent study, actually. And they smeared, like did a pap smear kind of thing on their vocal cords for women. And they did the same thing with their vaginal tissues. And what they found on the Petri dishes, they couldn't even distinguish the difference. Isn't that just crazy? So if you're starting to notice the vaginal atrophy or dryness, okay, or just feels really like, I have women that have a hard time even walking because they're so dry, okay? You've got to look into getting a hormone blood test done, and most likely, I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you exactly what to do unless you're working with me individually, then I can, okay? Because it's a little bit easier for me to go into this detail. But this is when you may want to talk to your doctor or me, or whoever you're working with, health practitioners, to add some cream that could be estrogen bioidentical. I'm not a fan of hormone replacement therapy, to be honest. Okay, I like the bioidentical, but you may want to use something like that to support. But I'm not going to go into it much more than this, because this is recorded, and we're going to put it only to the people that signed up for this. But still, publicly, I don't want to go into it so much, because then I would be practicing medicine without a license. Okay. But I thought that was crazy. So if your vaginal health is declining, okay, what I'm trying to say to you is that you have a likelihood of losing your beautiful voice in the coming decades. So take care of it, okay? Take care of your vaginal tissues, because that is going to reflect back to your vocal cords too. And if you look at voice box, okay, on like Wikipedia or any kind of if you have Grey's Anatomy or something like that, look at anatomy books or anything, look at the vocal box, okay, image, and you look at the vaginal openings, they look exactly the same. You'll be like, holy crap, this is our vagina. So that means if we're suppressed here in your fifth chakra, that's going to reflect on the other side too, right? And then if we are suppressed as a society in our vaginal health, in turn, that is suppressing our fifth chakra too. So I feel like we've been doing so much disservice to women, because basically women's health initiative studies gave up on us 21 years ago. 2002, the study came out, basically study that wasn't even really finished. They said, oh my God, estrogen therapy is going to kill us all. So they just stopped. But that wasn't the whole story. That wasn't the full story. But the full story is starting to come out now. The real story is coming out. So please take care of your tissues, of your vaginal openings, so that that will give you the voice you need too. Okay. I mean, I just went into a completely different place. Chris, I hope I'm not making you feel uncomfortable. I don't think
No.
so. You're the one that pointed that out to me. You showed me the anatomy picture and said, look at this. And he just showed it to me. I said, oh my God, that is beautiful, Chris. Yeah, I was really, really excited to see those two things. So isn't it just, I mean, what do you think? What do you think? I'm just going to pause. Isn't that just like, does that blow your mind away at all? It does for me, that we gave up on women's important hormonal health. That means we did not give women the arena to speak up either. So we got to take back our power.
Masami, I wanted to just throw out there too that we talked about this when we recorded that video about the importance of hormones and in relation to the cleansing process. But one of the things that we talked about was there's such an imbalance in the levels of funding in studies that are specific to women versus general health studies that are mainly focused on male bodies. And it's interesting because part of the research that you asked me to look into around especially estrogen and progesterone, what's amazing is you start seeing that there are all of these connections which are very compelling when you look at the health complaints that particularly we see with women as they get older. And we're often addressing them in terms of nutrition or hair tissue mineral analysis, that sort of thing. But there's a part of the problem medically is there's a real lack of good studies, even though there's a lot of evidence to suggest that there needs to be study on this. Things like the connection between the changing levels of progesterone and estrogen and how that affects the entire GI tract. Everything from poor digestion to reflux to how the bile is moving. I mean, these are basic things that we talk about with people all the time. And yet there hasn't been really an explicit link made to the hormone changes in the body over time. I mean, that's something we're really, especially you. I mean, I'm following your lead on this mainly, but you're really pointing that out to me too, is that this is such a foundational thing, especially with age, that this is one of the real keys to healthy and graceful aging, is to have an understanding, have curiosity, have a sense of being a scientist of your own life experience and body, to really watch how your process is unfolding. It's not the same, even for me, being in a male body, it's different. And I don't have the female body experience, so I can't speak to that. But I can, even in my own, the stereotype for men is we just sort of gradually slide until we fall off the cliff, but for women, it's more of the ebbs and flows that are more evident because of monthly cycles and all of that. But I'm really, finding from what Masami is sharing with me and what she's pointing me out to, and I'm doing research, it's pretty remarkable how ignorant we are as a society. Even though there is information out there in the medical research, it's not widely known and it's not widely linked to other factors that people experience as health problems. Like I mentioned, digestion being one of the primary issues, with everything from osteoporosis to osteopenia, cognitive function, all of that. It's all connected. So anyway, there's an aside, but I think it's important to what you were saying.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a great segue to talk about those two, supplements that we love and why we love them. But Jenny says, sacred masculine, Chris, you certainly bring that in for us, right, Jenny? So, segue from what Chris just said, what he just said is actually really an amazing topic too. And I have to say, everyone, I'm channeling something today because I had no clue that that's where I was going to go, but, yeah, the chakra connections and our own inner voice and how that's been suppressed, not just through historical traumas, but also just it continues to get suppressed because women's hormonal supplements and hormonal products are not covered by insurance. But you know what? If you want testosterone, you can just go get them from insurance. Did you know the insurance will cover testosterone, right? They will give you all kinds of testosterone support. But when it comes to estrogen and progesterone, they go, oh, that is not covered by insurance, you know? So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. So I'm on the mission, everyone. Okay. And coming back to the estrogen and the digestive health. Okay. So the estrogen receptor sites, we as women, we have more estrogen receptor sites in our gut than men. All right. So no wonder you feel it in your gut. No wonder you say there are butterflies in my stomach. I've never heard the teenage boys go, I have a butterfly in my stomach. I've never heard that before. Have you? Okay, the girls say that. Girls said that. Okay, female bodies have said that. Okay. Because we know what that feels like. That's because we have receptor sites. There are far more estrogen receptor sites that are waiting to catch estrogen. Okay, all kinds of satellite dishes and tuning forks that are tuning with the estrogen are all through our gut lining. Okay. So, but here's the thing. But if your gut is getting undigested foods coming in because you didn't take hydrochloric acid, okay, because you didn't support your pancreatic enzymes and your bile is not flowing. So it comes back to those three things again, okay? HCO, 8 times pancreatin, and GB complete. They come back to those three things because if they're not, how are your receptor sites for estrogen, okay, are going to be able to catch good estrogen that you're still producing even post-menopause? You can't. So that's why you need to help your body with those 3 supplements, right? Plus, you want to go and clean out the receptor sites. So I'm going to have Chris share the page. We've created a sale. Also, because I'm like, I'm just going to create it. I'm going to do 15% off, all kinds of things. So Chris, you want to share the screen?
Yeah.
And Nicole, you direct message to me, and I'm just going to tell you, yes, you're in perimenopause. What you're explaining to me, you're in perimenopause. So you would benefit a lot from these 2 supplements we're about to talk about, receptor detox, and then hormone balance and protect. Okay. And also I would definitely support your digestion. So once Chris can share the screen, then
I'm all set.
Okay. All right, so everyone, we just did the Memorial Weekend special supplement deals. Okay, and you go to masamicovey.com homepage. Can you go to the homepage first, please? Okay, so that's the homepage. And then you slide over to supplements, go to sale. Yeah. And then you can get 15% off of those 2. And for those of you that have not received the hormone supplement, hormone health and hormone optimization PDF, we will send you the PDF that I wrote up also. And that will give you how to take them, why take them, why they're so important. This must be used perimenopause, menopause, post-menopause. And the question is, do I need to continue to take these? I'm going to continue to take them. But what's been going on for me is that I no longer need these at the level that I was taking them last summer and fall. I was taking them quite a bit. Now I do every other day. So one day I would do the receptor detox and I take 1 to 2 capsules. But you have to remember, I'm less than 100 pounds, right? So I'm about like 98 pounds. So that's what I do, but I'm very sensitive too. And most of my clients I work with are sensitive. So you don't need to take them at the level that most manufacturers are recommending. So I do every other day, receptor detox, 1 to 2 capsules, closer to food. If you get a little nauseous with, zinc and things, maybe take it with a little bit of food. I can take them without food or close to my foods. And you can take it with food too. Okay. It doesn't matter there. Okay. And then the next day I do the hormone balance and protect, and I take 2 capsules. So I do every other day, every other day. And, but what happened for me was when I was heading towards the new moon, I really didn't have the interest in taking a lot of supplements. So I took almost 5 days off and didn't take much of supplements. Maybe I just took hydrochloric acid for digestion, but that was it. I really decreased it. And since I've been on these 2 top hormone, DO number 1 there, the receptor detox and hormone balance and protect, I take a lot less supplements during the waning part of the moon cycles. So when I'm heading towards the new moon, I take a lot less supplements now. And then when I'm waxing on, so when I'm adding more nutrients from the new moon heading towards the full moon, I start to get back into taking a little bit more. Okay. But I have noticed that I need less supplements, especially in the waning moon cycles since I've been on these 2 supplements. So in a way, it's kind of saving me money too. And I do love these 2 products because it'll clean out the receptor sites all over your body. I just want you to know the estrogen receptor sites where they catch the estrogen information everywhere. They're in the brain, they're in your lungs, they're in your heart, they're in your stomach lining, they're everywhere. Okay. So you want to clean those out so that you can receive the nice message coming in from your own endogenous hormone. Okay. So these 2 are not hormone therapy. I want you to know that these are not, they don't have hormones in there, but they're here to help you receive the message better from hormones and produce the hormones you're still making that are higher quality. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. It's 15% off and free shipping. Okay. So, and then you'll get the PDF. And the deal number 2 is during the Memorial. So until next Tuesday, actually, we're running this till next Tuesday. I would get this for sure. The deal number 2, if you are doing a hormone program with us for 28 days plus the 1-day virtual retreat. And many of you here are already signed up for that. So thank you. And I'm looking forward to doing this with you. It's 25% off. What? Okay. So it's already like marked down. It's if you buy those 3 items, they are actually $225 if you buy them separately, and they're selling it for like $170, and now it's 25% off of that. So I say I would get that for the lymph week. That's the 3rd week that they're going to be doing the lymph week. I would definitely get this bundle and use it. Okay. I use it all the time. Chris, you want to tell them where I was using it today?
In the car, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Masami's not kidding. She takes this what's it called? The lymph vibrate tool very seriously. So, and it's good. I use it too in the evening, and it's relaxing. I use it especially around my my neck and face. I mean, part of it, I have some trouble clearing my brain just from past injuries and things. So that's very helpful to start to make it move down from there. Masami, while we're just talking about supplements,
Well,
quick.
yeah, but I got to say something funny. This is my choice of vibrator, everyone.
Okay.
Oh, come on. It was
Yeah.
funny. Okay.
Okay. Well, so, but a serious question here. So from Linda, and I think others will have this question too. In the chat, she just said, I got an invoice today listing the supplements I will need for this cleanse. So with Dr. Schaffner, is it possible to do this month without the supplements? I assume
Yeah,
there
so
will be
I'm
other
gonna answer
techniques.
that.
Okay.
I'm gonna answer that right
Okay.
after
Well,
this.
whenever you're ready, I just want to
Yeah,
make sure
yeah.
that
That's a very important question, actually. I want to address that because I was a little shocked by all those things that came in. So deal number 3 is we are giving you Memorial Day sale, 15% off from Full Script. So if you have things that you need to order from Full Script, you know, all kinds of things, they carry, I don't even know how many products they carry. They carry just about everything you can think of. So you can research, and then, you know, there are certain things you've been wanting to buy, then go for it. So we already made it possible. So it's already on, okay, starting today. and we will keep this up till May 30th. So I had Chris do this today. I said, we're going to get on this call. I want to make sure that the people know that we're doing what we can to support. Okay. So then, is that it? And then could you go back up to the supplement page? Because I want to talk about those 3 supplements, the digestive bundle.
Okay, so that's going to be in the store, everyone. So if you go to supplements and then store, you can see everything we have in here. And this healthy digestion bundle is what Masami is going to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you
So
click
healthy.
into it?
Yeah,
Okay.
please. So healthy digestion bundle. Obviously, this is not included in, Dr. Christine's supplement bundle or anything, not bundle, but what she's recommending, because I'm kind of, I am part of this, but it's Dr. Christine's thing, right? So I don't think they're going to be addressing digestion, but I'm kind of I have to just address digestion. 3rd chakra is my favorite chakra of all times. So I can't live without talking about how to digest foods, because if you're not digesting your traumas, if you're not digesting your life, what is the point? Okay. You've all heard me talk about it. You can do emotional work till cows come home. Okay. But more you stir up inside you, the more digestion it requires, because who is digesting all that stuff that you're stirring up inside you? So these 3 are like the dustpan. Think of them as a dustpan. Okay. And if you've never used these 3 items, order them and Chris will send you. He's my everything. He's my assistant. He checks the emails. He answers everybody's questions. He's there for you. We will send you the PDF in how to take them, why these things are important. So we created a PDF. So we will send you the PDF so you know how to take it. Okay. But the GB Complete and HCO Complete, well, actually all 3, everyone. These 3 are going to be so important during the 2nd week of the program, because they're going to be talking about liver. And liver is one of my favorite things to talk about, right? So I'm going to be talking about the golden elixir that week and how amazing the bile is. And for those of you that have taken my Shift Network course, I call it the beautiful bile. The chapter 2 is beautiful bile. And the Shift Network people thought I've gone mad, because they've never heard anybody put the word beautiful and bile together in one title, but I find bile beautiful. Bile cleans you out of pathogenic stuff from fungus and yeast and mold and parasites and old estrogen, xenoestrogen, plastic estrogen, microplastics, your ex-husband, it clears all that. The bile does that. I have an ex-husband, so ex-husband needs to be cleared out by my bile. So these 3 are going to be very important for that, but I also want you to start taking these on a regular basis, and these will also help with the estrogen week, which is the 1st week, because like I said, there's so much estrogen receptor sites in your gut, and women have more estrogen sensitivity in the gut than men. So we need to clear and make sure your gut is operating at the optimal level so that the estrogen can communicate. So I hope that's making sense for these 3. Okay. And then can you go back to the supplement and just back tab for me?
Oh, sorry. Did you want to, which page did you want?
Can you go to the one that you were just store.
Store? Okay.
This is just a side thing, everyone. You don't need to do this. Okay. And for those of you that have done the 15-day NutriClear cleanse, you are definitely doing better, I hope, in terms of your entire body. Okay. Because you do need to clear things out in order to have the hormones do a better job. Older you get, the more stuff we're going to accumulate. Okay. Just take a look at your closet. Isn't that true? Right? Older you get. Why do I have all these forks? I don't really understand why I have so many forks. Okay. I don't know where those forks came from. So that's what happens. That's why you need to clean things up. But what I wanted to talk about was the one that Chris just created. The hydrolyzed collagen is the form that you always want to get, okay? Because that's a digestible collagen. I don't do well with most collagen. They make me feel very bloated. They can make me have a gut pain. So it took me a long time to decide, even to have a courage to decide to do Biotics one. But when I did the Biotics one, I loved it. I really loved it. And they recommend you do like 2 scoops. I don't. I just do 1 scoop. And I just do 1 scoop like 3 times per week. Okay. But the reason why we put this together with the hormone receptor detox and hormone balance and protect is because as we get older, the production of the collagen goes down. Okay. And that's going to show up hand in hand with the lower production of estrogen. Okay. Don't be afraid of estrogen. We need estrogen. Almost all your skin issues, from dry skin, saggy cheeks, turkey neck, wrinkly neck, to these vertical lines above your lips. Oh my gosh, the vertical lines that you didn't even smoke and you have, those are low estrogen level. Okay. So that's why doing a hydrolyzed collagen protein can be very, very helpful. Okay. So we put it together, we put the sale, and then you can choose vanilla or chocolate. I love the chocolate. I know chocolate is a little bit more on the oxalic side, but I'm only having 1 scoop, so I figured I'm good to go. So I do that. All right. And for those of you that are, I think we're going to probably make a PDF on this too at some point. We didn't make it yet, but we will send you at least the PDF information on the hormone balance and protect, supplement, and receptor detox. Okay, so that's enough, I think, in terms of what I would use during this whole program. Okay, and let's go over Dr. Christine's, and I'm going to share the screen. Chris, you may have to clean up my screen a little bit later, but let me just share because I just saw this come in and I was like, oh my goodness. So can I be honest with all of you about all this? Okay. And just please keep it just between us because they have their own mindset, I think, and then I have my own way of looking at body. And so this is where you have to just listen to your own inner knowing space. Okay. And for some, maybe taking all this stuff could work. And for some, you might say, okay, I'm going to muscle test myself and I might just do this or that. Okay. I would say maybe you might want to just wait to order till you have a chance to listen to why they're recommending these things. Okay. But I can tell you right off the bat that I don't like to put people on things like Megaspore right off the bat. The reason is if your gut is permeable and if your gut lining is not closely monitored and these villi are opened, then these spore microbes can get in the bloodstream very easily. And it can cause you to have gas and bloating and other inflammatory conditions. So I don't like to jump on things like that. I suppose doing something like electrolytes fine, but I also think if money is an issue because you already paid almost $400 to join this thing, okay? You might just want to do something like sea salt, right? Get yourself a really good Himalayan salt or maybe real salt that you go to natural stores and then maybe muscle test yourself with some salts. Just so you know, we in our household, we have about 8 different kinds of salts and we mix 8 different kinds of salts in a glass jar, almost like once every 3 months or so, maybe, but it's a glass jar. So, and then we use that for our cooking so we could get different kind of electrolytes. Okay. That being said, we do like putting potassium powder because potassium is the most like we're seeing more and more people not having enough potassium. And the early studies that came out when COVID started to really impact certain group of people, there was a study done and they found that the 100% of the people who struggled with the COVID the most, especially in their lungs too, were low on potassium. So we like to do potassium powder from Biotics, and it's called potassium. What is it? Potassium powder? No, potassium.
Potassium HP. And it just a quick side note too is that our bodies lose potassium very, very quickly when they're under stress. And so it's important because we live in stressful times and we're being stressed even when we're not feeling stressed emotionally and mentally. So it's called potassium HP. I'll put it in the chat. But potassium's a really important one.
So my recommendation to all of you is that when I looked at all these, I thought, maybe, but I'm going to hold off. I'm personally going to hold off on purchasing these. And because I kind of want to go through the whole thing, still supporting my digestion, eating better, clean out the receptor sites, because none of these are addressing receptor sites, so I kind of want to clean my receptor sites, and then maybe I will start adding some of these. So that's my gut feeling about it, but I would recommend that you tune into it too. And I think it's okay that you wait to order some of these things too, so don't overwhelm yourself, because can you imagine if all these things came in your mail in one shot and you're like, what am I supposed to do with all this? So I just say slow down, okay? Because maybe they will talk about one of these and go, I really resonate with what they're saying. Then order it, okay? So, and I'm not sure, actually, these are sold on FullScript too. So you can always wait, okay? And yeah, I looked at all these too, and I thought this is the balancing estrogen. Yeah, right. I still maybe, DIM is really good, but then I feel like if we're still liver is pretty toxic, then why do this? So you might want to wait to do this too till maybe after the liver and bile section, because once you can clean out the liver and the bile's flowing, then estrogen works much better. So do you see what I'm saying? I hope that you can maybe get to the phase 2, second week first, learn about the bile flow, liver, how to support it. And I'm going to do a lot of that too. And I'm actually working on a recipe each week to support estrogen recipe. I'm going to do liver recipe. I'm going to do lymph recipe, and so on and so forth. So maybe just take this program as a long run. You get access to this forever, they said. Okay. I do like liver sauce though, and you can get this on Quicksilver Science. You can get it on FullScript. So you can get the 15% off if you just write down a name and order it, you could do that. So I would recommend that. Even though I love the chemotherapy, this is the one I'm not getting quite yes on, but I will tell you the one I'm getting yes on. Okay. But Quicksilver Science liver sauce, pretty good stuff. But if you get GB Complete, good stuff, right? So if you already have GB Complete, you probably don't need this. Okay. But like I said, I don't want to undermine what they're doing. That's not my goal at all. I just think that everybody's got different way of looking at it. I like to look at body from north to south. I want to take care of our cognitive awareness of what you're doing, chewing your food, getting your saliva moving, and then getting the food digested in the stomach. I like north to south. I don't like to jump around. I like to go through the process like that. So I think maybe go through your liver stuff first, then maybe you could back up and then say, yeah, you know what, maybe I'll try some of these. Okay. Sounds good to me once the liver's cleaned out. Okay. And then this is the one that I do like, though. I have to say, everyone, I use lymph gemo every day, about 2 times per day. I put just a half a dropper under my tongue and I just let it sit of this one. You could do it only once if you want, first thing in the morning. I tend to wake up with a little congested face. My lymphatic system is kind of stuck. So this helps me to relieve that quite a bit. And I use the Lymph Flow cream. This will last you a long time, long time, because you only use tiny bit. And this is my vibrator. I know I'm not supposed to call it a vibrator. Chris is like, don't call it vibrator, but I'm calling it my vibrator that I take it around all over the place with. So this is good. And if you order it through the link that I was giving you on the Masami's favorite page or the sale page, you get 25% off. So that's awesome. Gift for somebody else. Okay. And then we're in a progesterone. Okay. So this is where, I think a lot of these things can be helpful. I do like the passion flower a lot, but I also love drinking like hibiscus tea and things like that too. And that passion flower, kind of like a herbal tea type of thing too. So you may go with that kind of thing instead if you feel like, gosh, I can't spend $72 right now on this. Okay. Then you might want to do like hibiscus tea, passion flower tea, something like that instead. So I hope that helps a little bit to kind of tune into it. Okay. And then this is recorded and this is like, you can use it forever. So like you say, okay, next month I'm going to do it again. Then you might say, okay, maybe I'll give this one thing a try. So let's take this a little slowly. And it's already overwhelming. I mean, oh my gosh, I was reading this and I was looking at it, and then they have 28-day lymph hormone cleanse portal that they created. Holy crap, that's also very overwhelming, but they put what's happening every day at what time. So the moon, if you see a moon thing, it's me. And then I'm going to be somewhere here too. But so I think you received this today, or you will receive it by tomorrow. I think that's what they said to me. But all the information, like what's going to happen every day, what's there, it's quite a lot. So I'm going to stop sharing. And my honest feeling was, this was too much. But one good thing is that, okay, it's recorded, right? So then the next month you say, I'm just going to start with the new moon part, right? And then you just do the new moon 1 week. That's it. And the following week you say, okay, I think I'm going to go from a first quarter moon till the full moon. And I'm just going to do that part, So stay with it as much as you can. I feel already a little bit overwhelmed, to be honest with you. So I'm going to do my very best to be the grounding force in this. Okay. I promise you I will try to ground for all of us. So that's kind of what I'm feeling, that all I need to share. So I hope, Linda, did that answer your question? I know it's a little bit like, I looked at it and go, oh my Lord. Right. And I'm going to try to do the hormonal balance through movement, sounds, recipes, things like that, so that it's not more, I got to go spend it. Okay. But that being said, I do believe those 2 supplements that we've been talking about over and over, about the hormone supplements and the receptor cleanse detox, that seems to be something that nobody's talking about. And then I was reading a study recently about postmenopausal women doing they were doing estrogen therapy. That's right. And then what they were saying is that there's a certain threshold where estrogen therapy doesn't work for older women or something like that. And they call it critical window hypothesis. Okay. L and R's are hard for Japanese speakers. Critical window hypothesis, meaning if you didn't address your hormones 5 years after your menopause, then you are out of luck. That's kind of what these studies are coming out and saying. I was so irritated reading it because there was not a single mention of, however, if we clean the receptor sites, we can communicate with our own endogenous hormones better. There was no mentioning of that. And so I said to Chris, I said, how come nobody's talking about the basics, which is clean the receptor sites, clear out the satellite so then we can receive the message? What if we did that first? Let's say let's say 3 months. Okay. We put postmenopausal women on receptor detox hormone support supplement. Okay. Let's say just did that for 3 months, then did the estrogen therapy. I bet you, it's just my intuitive thinking, I bet you that therapy would work better. And nobody will stop saying critical window hypothesis and sorry, you're too late. I'm sick of being told we're too late. Okay, no way. So that's how I feel. I hope you got my passion about those 2 supplements. All right, good. Any questions coming in, honey, that I need to address? And then we'll wrap up because it's so late, everyone over there in the East Coast. Sorry. Oh, you got to unmute, honey.
I forgot I did that. No more questions. Well, there actually, no, I take it back. There was one question earlier about the PDF, and I just wanted to address that from Kathy. Since you're in New Zealand, I'm not sure if you can actually get these products from Biotics. I think right now they're restricted to the US. They've talked about the possibility of extending that to partner suppliers in other countries like Canada and the UK, and Australia would probably, New Zealand perhaps as well, but they haven't done it yet. So this PDF is really geared toward the use of those products with dosing and that sort of information primarily. So probably it's not going to be the most helpful thing without the products themselves, because it's not more generally about the hormones.
Yeah, but I have to say, I have several people in the UK that what we did was we looked at what was in the receptor detox, what was in there, what milligrams, and we actually created our own. So they had to buy multiple supplements, but what we did was like, okay, we're going to do B6 this way. We're going to do PABA this way. We're going to do zinc this way. And we've created like our own.
And that's possible. That's definitely something you can do.
And
We have the benefit of having a connection in the UK with a supplier that we can direct people to. We don't have that connection in New Zealand. So I'm not sure what you have available to you, but that is something that you can do, is to try to replicate the dosing of the nutrients. It's hard to get everything because some of them are proprietary ingredients, how they formulated it. But I know that doesn't fully answer your question, but I just wanted to give you the sense that the PDF is more geared toward those Biotics research products. Mm-hmm. And then Masami, to answer your question, just one more question came in from Jenny. She said, does the hormone detox do anything to help with sleep issues, or should I keep on the melatonin supplement?
So melatonin that's awesome question. Fabulous. So melatonin is also hormone, right? And neurotransmitter also, but it's a hormone. So hormone receptor sites detox is going to help you to clean it out so that you can communicate with melatonin better too. My sleep has changed so much. Chris will attest to this, but I feel like I sleep like I'm like 16-year-old again. I sleep so well. And I'm hearing more and more from other women that they're like, yeah, the receptor detox is really working. Or I have several people that have been on hormone replacement therapy, and their hormone replacement therapy is working better because they were starting to feel really low on themselves, that these hormone therapy that they've been on stopped working for them. And the doctor just wanted to up the dose. And I said, before you do that, why don't we clean it out? Then see if the dose that you're taking currently could work better, right? So melatonin is important, but the melatonin will work better if the receptor sites are cleaned out. And we personally use the melatonin from Zorex again, and you can find the Zorex stuff on our website, right under supplements. They give us 10, is it a micrograms? Right.
Milligrams. It's
Milligrams,
actually a pretty high, it's a one of the higher doses available.
10 milligrams of melatonin. And that's kind of hard to find. So I love it. I just take it about an hour before I need to start getting ready to go to bed because I'm very keyed up. Can you tell? It's
Yeah,
evening.
we need to get Masami to bed soon.
Yeah, I mean, I get very keyed up at night. So I need that melatonin about an hour before Chris, or I just start telling him, honey, we got to do this and we can come up with this. And can you do this on the website? And he's just like, oh my God, can't do
Yeah.
this anymore.
So, okay. So in the interest of not having to have my notepad out at 11 p.m. taking notes on what we need to do for
Any other
tomorrow.
questions?
Yeah, no more questions. But there are a couple of thanks from Linda and Lonnie that just for you to be honest about just your thoughts on this and how to approach it and the importance of being the grounding force when there's so much unknown. I mean, it's a big program. There's a lot of information. So yeah, just
And
thank
is it worth doing it? Absolutely. Because we're going to bring so many things. I mean, they're unbelievable teachers are going to show up to this, and I'm excited to get to know them too. And it's available for the rest of your life. So fabulous. And also I'm gifting all of you that would sign up through the link that I've been giving to you on the email, because that's the only way I can track who's been following me and who signed up through me. I will get that information from them when it gets started, is that I'm going to do a live call for people that have signed up through me. I'm thinking after the program. So if you have like little extra questions, or you're like, okay, this part I did not understand, or I really wanted to ask this question, but this was never answered, things like that, I can do a better job. Okay. But it'll just be the people that signed up through me. Okay.
I just put that link in the chat if anybody
Oh,
had
thank you.
seen that yet. Forget to do that sometimes. So there it is.
Yeah, we always forget. We're not good salespeople. People, just I don't know. We are not very good at it, but that's just what it is. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. Number one thing I want all of you to start paying attention to is that every day you look at your face in the mirror, right? When you're brushing your teeth, you're washing your face, and you're putting all kinds of stuff, hoping for your skin to do this and that. But if you're starting to notice a lot of dryness, that's a key element to estrogen getting lower. Dry vaginal skin, vaginal areas, dried up throat that makes it crackly, dry eyes. Many of you have dry eyes, okay? You're like, I gotta apply these things all the time, or I have to live in a very moist place, or my eyes are totally dried up. Dry hair, dry scalp, right? Dry mouth. Those are all, I mean, anything drying. So I heard this a long time ago. I think it was from one of my yoga teachers. And she said, the definition of dying, definition of aging is dehydration, right? But when you're drying up, just chugging water is going to dry you out more. Okay. Just like thinking, I just have to drink 8 to 10 glasses of water. Oh, water. No, that's going to dry you out, because it's kind of like when you look at homeopathical, like homeopathy is the word, concepts, right? It's like fire to fire or dryness to dryness kind of idea, right? When you're so dried up, just drinking a bunch of water, thinking that's going to rehydrate your skin, not going to do it. Okay. You actually need to do something really opposite of water. And you've all heard it, like the water and the oil, they don't mix kind of thing. You actually need to do a little bit more oil. So doing like evening primrose oil, fabulous. Okay. Omega-3s, fabulous. Okay. And my request to all of you, and don't send me hate emails. Okay. When you're doing omega-3s, you want to bite the capsules, okay? And let the oil seep through your mouth. And then spit out the empty capsules out. Okay, don't swallow the capsules, okay? Just spit it out. And when you do that, you're actually going to notice when the omega-3s is enough and you don't need it anymore. Because it'll taste so horrible when you do them. When you have enough of it, you're not going to want to do it. You'll bite it and you go, oh my gosh, I will write Masami a really nasty email saying, how dare you make me do that? Okay. That's when you know you can stop the omega-3s for a while. Just take a break. Take a break like a week to 10 days and let the body come back to it, because we don't need omega-3s every day, 30 days, 31 days per month. You don't. There's cycles to that too. And omega-3s and evening primrose oil are very, very helpful for your dried up skin because they help with your estrogen. So it's not chugging more water. All right. Okay. So that's the little nugget for you. I could sit here and give you all kinds of nuggets, but okay, you need to go to bed. Chris is like, come on, stop. Is that good? Everybody's good? Okay. All right. All right. So we will render this recording and send it out probably tomorrow because it's already late, and then we'll put the link to join the program. I hope many of you will join, and I will do my very best to take care of you because I know who signed up through me, and I will take good care of all of you. Okay. I promise. Okay. I will see all of you soon. Thank you, Chris, for being here and holding a testosterone grounding for us.
My pleasure.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.